Hello, genealogists. This is Craig, and this is New Books at Heritage Books for the week of 14 May 2023. The stack keeps getting taller and taller. And by now, you know how much I enjoy this part of my week. So recently, we published the Comfort, Carpenter, and Elizabeth Phelps Pinkham family of Dover, New Hampshire, and Stanstead, Quebec. And we've come out with a supplement to that. And we've come out with a detailed supplement to that book with links to descendants of Richard Pinkham of Old Dover, New Hampshire. Individuals mentioned only briefly in the original Comfort, Carpenter, and Elizabeth Phelps Pinkham family book, as they relate to previously researched members of the Comfort, Carpenter, and Elizabeth Phelps Pinkham line and Pinkham descendants linked generationally to the present. While not an inclusive record of Richard Pinkham of Old Dover, it deals with descendants since 1644. This edition connects the Canadian Comfort Carpenter Pinkham branch to other Richard Pinkham of Old Dover, New Hampshire lines and descendants. I'm always happy when somebody comes up with a supplement so that people don't get stuck having to buy a revised edition, unless the edition is significant. I don't like those kind of things, but I'm really happy to see that this is an excellent way to add to an existing family history through a supplement. Now, Oldcastle is an area in Ireland in County Meath, and this book by Tom Fox deals with Oldcastle area immigration from 1700 to pretty much the present. There are almost 900 entries in the book, and the entries typically list the immigrant's full name plus any combination of age, date of birth, date, place of birth, name of spouse or parents, occupation, military service, departure location and or date, arrival location and or date, date of death, place of death and or burial, and varying amount of other biographical information. It's got a bunch of maps and vintage photographs, and of course there's a full name index. I always enjoy, and we have several of them, books that bring people out of a place in Europe and bring them to the United States. And so therefore, they're placed on the ground, both in Europe, and in this case, specifically County Meath, Ireland, and the United States. Most of these people ended up in places like Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, but not all of them. The Irish weren't limited to the East Coast totally, and this study confirms that moved away from those places as time went on. Another book on immigrant families is Common Blood, The Life and Times of an Immigrant Family in Charleston, South Carolina, revised by Robert Alston Jones. Robert Jones is a Charleston native and is emeritus professor of German at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Has a heightened appreciation for German and English immigrant heritage in Charleston and has facilitated research into European origins of an extended immigrant family. Here he portrays their experience against the backdrop of the city's unique political, cultural, and social foundation. The next thing we have, talking about revised editions, Marvin Van did 11 volumes of Shenandoah County Census records at some time in the far past. And he decided to update volume 1 with what he had learned over the years, dealing with those families in the 1860 census in the areas of Edinburgh and Woodstock and Powell's Fort. So this new revised volume 1 now brings his total record up to 12. It deals with the census data organized by dwelling number and family member for each family. It's followed by detailed biographical information covering nearly every individual in each household. Information on most people includes birth and deaths, marriage dates, military activity, location of burial, education, occupation, children, second spouses, related families, census dwellings and family numbers, and the microfilm page number when applicable. It also takes care of any errors or corrections that needed to be made from the original first volume. Been looking forward to that one coming out. I especially enjoy annotated census pieces, largely because people sometimes get confused by the census itself. And sometimes in these annotations, you'll be able to find clues that will allow you to determine whether you've got the right family or not. Now, apart from the census, another place to figure out where people are in specific places and times are town directories or city directories. So we have reprinted the town registers of Ashland, Plymouth, Sandwich, Campton, Holderness, Center Harbor, and Moultonborough in New Hampshire. These cover various years, but off the top of my head, I believe they're around the turn of the century. So probably about the 1910 period. You'll find things like town officers, churches, early town meetings, and lots of names, and families and occupations. The Kingston, Ellenville, and Saugerties directory is in New York, and it's for 1873 to 1874. And it too is full of names, occupations, and addresses. So that brings new books for this week to an end. This has been Craig. This has been Just Genealogy. I would invite you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would invite you to tell your friends. When I wake up every morning, one of the first things I do while I'm drinking my morning cup of coffee is take a look at what the numbers are and how many subscribers we have and how many viewing hours we have. And I'm always excited to see those numbers grow. So I will see you soon.